This morning, we'll take a look at Abbott's influence. The governor worked against two Republicans running for re-election, but they won despite it. So was his intervention really worth it? Democrats doubled their turnout in Texas, but still lag behind Republicans. So can you really call it a blue wave? Carol Donovan re-elected as Dallas County's Democratic chair. Can she repair relationships, though, inside the party? We'll ask her in studio. And one of the most watched congressional races, Collin Allred now meets Lillian Salerno in a May runoff. Both candidates taking our questions right now.
From WFAA TV, this is Inside Texas Politics with Jason Whiteley.
Good morning. We begin with that race, the Democratic race for the 32nd Congressional District. It is going to a runoff on May 22nd. Here's what happened last week. Collin Allred got 39% of the vote, the clear frontrunner here in a crowded field. He's an attorney and former HUD official. And Lillian Salerno edged out Brett Shipp to get 18% of the vote. She is also an attorney and presidential appointee during the Obama administration. Both candidates right here in studio with us this morning to talk about what's happening next in their race as they head to the runoff. And joining the questioning, as always, is Bud Kennedy of the Star-Telegram. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah,
thank you so much.
Thanks for coming in. Let's start with some numbers here, Collin. In the 2016 primary, I'm sure you've seen these, Pete Sessions got 46,000 votes in his primary in 2016 with Trump in it. The entire Democratic turnout for your primary was, what, 38,000 votes. You got a portion of those. Where do you see a path to victory to get over that, 46,000? Let's just say that number is, holds.
Yeah, well, I think the pathway to victory has always been the same. I think that we have to grow the pie here. We have a voting problem in North Texas and in Texas in general. Not enough people are voting. We have to get more people out to vote. I think the primary increase for us from 2014 to this last one here in 2018 was fantastic, but we got to keep that momentum going and get more people involved.
You have, what, 8 months to November, providing you make it through the runoff.
Yeah, we do.
How do you do that?
Well, we have to register some voters, but we also have to generate excitement. We have to make sure that people know about this race, that they know that there is someone running who's going to go to Washington and fight for them. And I think in our campaign, what we've done really well is we've generated a lot of excitement. We've got young people involved. We've got a diverse group of people involved. And that's the way we're going to win, is to make sure our electorate looks like our community.
Lillian, you two placed, you placed second. You two, though, had quite a few endorsements like Collin did. But you were significantly behind him. How do you make up that deficit?
Well, we're so excited about the number of people that came out and voted on the primary, and there were 7 good candidates, and we think that we're going to be able to get a lot of people out there that are going to make sure that whoever we send to take on Pete Sessions in November is the candidate that can beat him. And I believe that the excitement that we generated with all 7 of us, that now it's a different race.
Well, a lot of this primary did center around organization and turnout, but tell me about policy between the two of you. Be specific about some policy point where you disagree with your opponent. If someone's out there trying to make their runoff decision, maybe they voted for someone else, maybe they didn't vote in the runoff, they'd like to come out and choose. Tell me a specific point.
Well, for me, I've been working as a business person and as a presidential appointee, and I am running because of a couple of things. One is healthcare. Healthcare for 2 reasons. Healthcare is, I was that single mom that sent her daughter Ebby to school with a strep throat because I couldn't get her into the doctor and I couldn't take off work. We've got to do better by working families. And second, it's about power. Power. We need someone to go up there and fight, not just for good, but fight against bad. And people in North Texas need somebody who's a proven leader. And I've made a payroll. I've hired hundreds of workers. I understand workforce development. And this is a city of business here in Dallas.
Collin, I don't know if there was a policy point there, but tell me where you feel like you differ.
Well, I think on policy, I try to boil it down to what is going to create a chance for people to have a chance. So how do we create opportunity here? How do we make sure that everybody can chase their version of the American dream? I think we have a healthcare crisis here in North Texas. 1 in 5 people in Dallas County don't have health insurance. That's why I've been so strong about talking about how we have to get to universal health care. Now we need to do that by having whatever you want to call it, robust public option, Medicare for all. I think we need to have a baseline of care for everyone in this country. And people say, well, how are we going to afford that? And I always tell them, we already have universal health care. We just do it in a way that I think is cruel and kind of stupid. We do it through our emergency rooms.
How do you get there on health care in the face of a $20 trillion debt? How do you do that?
Well, I think things like the $1.5 trillion tax cut that the Republicans just passed make it much more difficult. And we have to acknowledge that this is about priorities. We can afford to do these things. We can afford to take care of our people. We just have decided not to. And we are paying so much right now to take care of folks folks who don't have health insurance. When you go to Parkland Hospital and you don't have health insurance, we are all bearing the cost of that through our property taxes.
Local level health.
Yeah.
Well, I've been working in healthcare. My company made medical devices that we sold into the healthcare system. It's broken. And it's broken because there's no competition and there's no transparency. You should know what it costs when you go into the physician. You should know what it costs when you take your child into a hospital. We can do that. I know how to do that. I've passed bipartisan legislation. I know how Washington works, and what it needs is somebody that go up there, turn the tables and say, you know what, we've had enough. Stop with the fraud against the American people on health care costs. We pay 40% more than any other country.
It sounds like you want free market competition.
Let me continue with what Bud asked. You guys had, what, a dozen or so forums leading up to the primary. Sort out how you guys, regardless of policy, how are you different from each other? Because you guys sound an awful lot alike.
Well, I feel like I've got 20 years of experience in Washington and as a business person, where I've made a payroll, hired hundreds of workers, and understand what it's like for a single working mom. And I think that what we need from North Texas is leadership. And with Pete Sessions, we haven't had leadership. We've had somebody who just goes along. He may be head of the Rules Committee, but he works for Paul Ryan.
Well, for me, I'm a local guy. I was born and raised here. I was raised by a single mother who was a Dallas Public School teacher. I'm a product of Dallas Public Schools. I think I know what North Texas families are facing because I've lived it. I went to the same schools their kids went to. My mom taught in those schools. And I know where we need to go and what we need to be investing in to give our folks a chance. And so my focus is hyper-local. I went to the NFL and I became a civil rights attorney to make sure that stories like mine weren't unique, and that's also why I'm running for Congress.
Both of you have a hill to climb to get over that 50% mark, obviously. I mean, in the runoff, one of you is going to make it. But the question is, have either of you reached out to your former opponents for support, or do you plan to?
Well, I don't know about support. We've certainly had conversations where we've congratulated them on running a great campaign. One of the things I think that everyone should notice about the way this primary went here in Texas 32 is that it was a clean campaign in which we ran on the issues, and I'm really proud of the way the primary went, and I'm happy to speak with our former opponents and talk to them about the way they can get involved. But so far it's been mostly about congratulations on running a great campaign.
Lillian, do you plan to reach out to anybody?
Yes, and I've reached out to both three of our opponents, and I just wanted them to know how important it was, their discussion during the campaign.
Have you asked for their support?
We are in the discussions of asking for anything that they can do to make sure that we put the best candidate for them.
Neither one of you raised the most money in this race. How will you raise the money it takes to go against an incumbent like Sessions?
Well, I think that the money talk has been kind of interesting to me, because I think we haven't talked enough about the grassroots volunteer power that it takes for any Democrat to win in Texas. In our campaign, we knocked on over 27,000 doors since December, and we did that because we have hundreds of volunteers. There's no price you can put on that. But I will say, whoever the nominee is going up against Pete Sessions in the fall, I believe will be well funded, because there will be folks all over who are interested in this race and who will take an interest in making sure that this seat is flipped.
Final word, Lillian.
Well, we've raised we have momentum. Our campaign over the last 45 days has raised more money than our opponents, and we believe that we'll get all the resources we need. We also haven't elected a woman to Congress from the state of Texas in 22 years. We have 3 women that represent the delegation in Congress out of 38. That's not okay. We need representation from this district for the over 50% of the female population, and we haven't had it.
Lillian Salerno and Collin Allred, 2 Democratic candidates for the 32nd Congressional District. You'll meet in the May 22nd runoff 10 weeks from now. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for having us.
Thank you both very much.
Let's dig into some numbers here just for a moment. Democrats doubled their turnout in Texas over the last 4 years, increasing from about 500,000 voters to more than 1 million. But you can see that Dems still lag behind Republicans. So the question this morning, can you really call it a blue wave? Ross Ramsey's co-founder and executive editor of the Texas Tribune. He's in Austin for us as always. Good morning to you, Ross.
Good morning, Jason. How are you?
We're doing well. Democrats are proud about the interest, the enthusiasm, and the turnout, but that's the question. Is this a blue wave?
Well, I think the blue wave hit a red seawall this time. The Republican Party is still significantly larger than the Democratic Party. The Democrats can be proud of a big increase over a really lousy turnout in 2014. Things got a lot better, but they still only turned out about 1 million voters to the 1.5 million that the Republicans turned out.
Now to another theme of the primary night, too. Governor Abbott and Lieutenant Governor Patrick both got involved in legislative races, and they had mixed results.
Right.
The question is, was it worth it, especially since two Republicans Abbott was going against ended up winning after all?
I think it's going to be a case of, who's afraid of the big bad wolf when they all come back. There's two members of the House, Sarah Davis and Lyle Larson, the governor went after and missed. Do other House members look at this and say, if you cross the governor, he'll come after you and worry about it? Or do they say, if he comes after you, nothing happens and not worry about it? We'll see in January.
So do Davis and Larson go back to Austin as damaged goods or more empowered?
I think they go back more empowered, but it sort of remains to be seen. If the other members get skittish about this, then it worked to the governor's advantage.
Interesting. Ross, back to you in just a moment. Thank you. Reducing gun violence is on a lot of minds right now, especially with the NRA convention coming to Dallas in May. But our next contributor says you can't put all the blame on the NRA. Here's Cindy Walker from Coffee and Politics 101 with My Voice, My Opinion.
Many people are in uproar over the NRA coming to Dallas. Recent school shootings have enraged people, and the blame is being placed on the NRA. Dallas didn't approve a sex convention because the optics didn't look good. We police sexual activities of adults harder than we get concerned about how to manage gun availability with recent heinous acts. Students are bringing guns to school, yet we don't expose our children to sex toys like some families teach their children how to use guns at an early age. That's part of the Second Amendment right. So if Johnny brings a toy to school, there is much embarrassment on access. Maybe if mom and dad shared in the responsibility of our youth and adults in shootings, access to guns would be taken more seriously. I'm Sydney Walker, and this is My Voice, My Opinion.
Dallas Democrats re-elect Carol Donovan to lead the county party, but can she repair relationships inside it? We'll ask her next in studio. It's Lupe Valdez versus Andrew White in the Democratic race for governor, and Katie makes a prediction on it in Flashpoint. Inside Texas Politics back in 3 minutes. First, your Sunday Funnies.
Now some big news out of Washington. Kellyanne Conway has been accused of violating federal ethics laws during TV appearances in 2017. If found guilty, she could be forced to leave her job or, even worse, stay. And that's...
Call ARS and Rescue Rooter. Is your AC running at peak performance? Stay cool and save with a $49 AC tune-up backed by our no breakdown money-back guarantee. 888-8000 or visit ARS.com.
This is big. No, this is huge. All mattress sets are on sale. Nebraska Furniture Mart has more than 75 mattress sets on display with thousands in stock from the best brand names. This is huge too. Get free delivery on qualifying mattress sets $649 or more. Here's a huge deal. Shop with up to 75-month mattress financing with no down payment required. All on sale, free delivery, flexible financing. Huge things are happening. Shop mattresses at Nebraska Furniture Mart.
Moving is full of firsts. The first day. The first night. The first strange noise. The first repair. The first project. The first month of free electricity. Switch to the Reliant First Month Free Plan. That's life. Switched on. Reliant.
My husband's probably going to think I'm crazy. He thinks I'm going to see my sister.
Sometimes the confidence to be spontaneous starts with financial stability.
Once I heard it, I was shocked. I just thought, I have to go get it. It's our tree.
See how a personalized financial strategy and access to JP Morgan investment expertise can help you. Chase, make more of what's yours.
The 2018 Cadillac XT5.
Worship me.
Beauty, greater than the sum of its parts.
Texas residents get this low-mileage lease on this Cadillac XT5 from around $329 per month. Plus, Dallas area residents can get an additional $1,000 toward the lease.
We've come so far. I guess I'm proud. And I ain't worried about the wrinkles around my smile. I got some scars. I I've seen some things, but I'm here now. Those good old days.
I wish somebody would have told me, babe. Someday these will be the good old days.
Call ARS and Rescue Rooter.
Don't miss the ARS Springtacular Savings Event. Guaranteed best prices of the year can save you thousands on a new HVAC system with payments as low as $83 a month. Call now, 888-8000, or visit ars.com.
Dallas Democrats openly talk about it, problems inside their party, conflict and divisions. So why then did Democrats decide to give Carol Donovan another chance to fix it as chair? She defeated a challenge from Chris Hamilton and is in studio to talk about how she plans to move the party forward. Congratulations to you, Carol.
Thank you, sir.
Let me ask you the basic question here. Can you repair these relationships in your party? I see it play out on Facebook and other places. Can you fix these?
Right. Well, I think it's confusing to the voter outside of the Dallas County Democratic Party because primaries are always like this. Primaries are pitting Democrats versus Democrats, and as well over on the Republican side, Republicans against Republicans.
Each party has it.
That's right. And then you come together behind the nominees and you go forward.
Do you expect that to happen?
I do.
You think so? Okay. Well, you have a lot of support from precinct chairs, the grassroots part of the party, but some elected officials supported your opponent. Have you reached out to your opponent or any to these officials and say, hey, let's come back together?
Mr. Hamilton and I, that was my opponent, Mr. Hamilton and I have spoken since the election. I told him that I wanted his help in working out unity for the party, that it was something we always have, but it certainly helps if all the candidates are involved, and he said he would.
One of the criticisms you faced, Carol, was letting a staffer sign the candidate petitions to get on the ballot, which led to that Republican lawsuit. What do you plan to do differently for those in the future?
Well, one thing I think the Republicans should do differently is they should read the election code. And the election code specifically allows for staff of the Dallas County Democratic Party or the Republican County Party to accept these documentation. I mean, it's like if you file something at a district clerk's office, the district clerk herself does not walk out and take it from you. Anybody on her staff can do it. And if the Republicans had read the election code before they filed the suit, they would have known that.
Do you plan to sign these personally in the future?
Well, if there's some court ruling that says that the election code is wrong, I will certainly do that, but the election code says that it is not necessary for the county chair to actually do that.
Carol, talk about your vision for this next term. What issues do you want to tackle?
The first item is unity, and that's going to be the agenda for any county chair immediately after the primary. You want to get everybody on the same page. You want to go forward into the general election. And some people go, yeah, well, the general election is not till November. Well, we started working in January on this primary election for voter turnout, and boy, didn't that pay off.
Well, you're talking about the blue wave or the interest, right?
Absolutely.
All right. Well, good deal. Carol Donovan, congratulations again, reelected as Dallas County Democratic Chair. We'll watch and see how things develop. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. You have seen the numbers and you heard what Carol Donovan just had to say about it, that so-called blue wave. What's driving it, though? That's the debate that sparked Flashpoint this morning. From the right, Mark Davis of 660 AM The Answer, and from the left, author and producer Katie Sherritt.
Thanks, Jason. Happy Sunday. The political advertising is over. Let us all gather with a large tone of celebration. The one thing we'll agree about on the Flashpoint desk. But I got some questions for my friend Katie in view of the whole blue wave thing. Do we really think that's still going to happen?
Well, I think it got better for the Democrats, obviously, with record turnout. But look at what we're trying to overcome. Decades of a Democratic Party that didn't give people anything to vote for. And now we're rebuilding that voting habit.
What's the difference? Okay, that's interesting, an interesting observation. So you view that Democrats have been either lethargic or just not doing enough to get.
Oh, I absolutely think that.
Pardon the way this sounds. What in the world do you have to give people now that's so different than the Wendy Davis era or things like that?
I think a view of the world that it's not as dark and giving people local control instead of trying to take it away. funding education adequately instead of trying to starve the public schools.
That's a Dan Patrick reference. I sense a Dan Patrick
Dan
reference.
Patrick, well, there you go.
Just saying, just saying.
Being the not Dan Patrick, right there, you've got something going for it. Healthcare, giving people access to healthcare. We had a teacher die in Weatherford from the flu. That shouldn't have happened.
And if we had a Democrat governor, that wouldn't have happened. What a bold pronouncement.
I didn't say that. I said I think that is one of the issues that the Democratic Party can bring back to Texas, and like I say, some moderation back to the center instead of way off to the right.
That's intriguing. All right, about 20 seconds.
So there you are.
Whom would you like to have come up against Greg Abbott, Lupe Valdez or Andrew White? Got a pick?
Actually, neither of them was my pick, but I would.
That's what you got now.
That's what we've got now.
What do you
think? I think, as hard as it is for me to say that, I think Andrew's going to have the better.
Why is that hard to say? 5 seconds.
Because he doesn't float my boat.
We'll explore further because I think we have time. From the right, Mark Davis, 660 AM, The Answer.
And from the left, Katie Sherrod.
Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick said the age of the liberal Republican is over, but how much did the primary really change things? One of our questions next on Reporters Roundtable.
Does home improvement shopping feel like flushing your money down the toilet? You won't feel that way at Seconds and Surplus. With discounts of up to 50 to 90% on the latest home improvements, you can hold on to more of your money.
For the first time ever, Mattress Firm is offering beds starting at just $9 a month across our widest selection of famous brands. And now with 0% interest for 72 months, it's never been easier to bring home a new mattress. Starting at just $9 a month, our lowest payments ever. Don't wait, the big deal won't last long. Your budget stretches further at Mattress Firm.
Today at Whataburger, we're cooking the sweet and spicy bacon burger. You asked for it and it's back.
The sweet and spicy bacon burger is my all-time favorite.
I love this burger. It's just perfect.
2 beef patties, 2 different types of cheese, caramelized onions. My favorite thing about this burger is the sweet and spicy pepper sauce and the bacon. You get it in every bite.
Nothing beats this.
This is all you need.
The sweet and spicy bacon burger is back and now it's an all-time favorite.
That's happiness.
Got your package?
You can just leave it. Thanks.
Hello? Can I help you?
Hello?
Hello?
Hello? Multiple weather models provide us with over 70 updates every day. We digest this data in real time to help determine your forecast.
Updating your weather status. News 8 Weather Minds, sponsored by TXU Energy.
TXU Energy Season Pass. Save 50% on your energy charges all winter and summer long, no matter how you use it.
Honey, did you?
Hot towels! Fresh out of the dryer.
TXU Energy for home and business.
Come celebrate 128 years of yes at Conn's Home Plus. Incredible anniversary savings in every department and pay no interest until 2020. Plus, we're giving away over $20,000 in prizes. Go to cons.com to enter and apply for your Yes Money financing. Get approved instantly, then get to the anniversary celebration at Cons.
You want a better life and our best price, you deserve it at Cons.
Is home improvement shopping snatching all of your money? You won't feel that way at Seconds and Surplus. With discounts of up to 50 to 90% on the latest home improvements, you can hold on to more of your money.
Time now for Reporters Roundtable to put the headlines in perspective. Bud and Ross both still with us, and Bernadine Steptoe, our political producer, back as well too. Ross, let's start with you in Roundtable here. Beto O'Rourke and Andrew White did not do as strong as many people expected, considering that people didn't know their opponents that well. And Lupe Valdez did a little better. What surprised you from Tuesday night?
Well, I was surprised that Beto O'Rourke got 61% instead of something higher than that. He was running against two people whose names were basically unknown. He was getting a lot of press. A lot of people have been paying attention to him both in the state and outside the state. So it was a smaller showing than I expected. That said, he won. He's the nominee. On the other race, the two front runners came out about where we expected them to be. Lupe Valdez has been on a ballot before first, followed by Andrew White.
O'Rourke is the nominee, guys, but indeed he didn't get any of the Rio Grande Valley counties.
Well, he did get the two largest. He got Brownsville, he got McAllen. He did not win Laredo, which really hurts. And he didn't win about 20 counties that, some of which you'd think he would win. But the Democrats have been counting all along on the Latino vote, the Latino surge, the vote south of I-10 being the key to the blue wave of the Democratic comeback. Some of those Latinos are coming out and voting for Latino candidates.
Take away from Tuesday night, Bernadine, what was it?
I think that Valdez was a surprise to me. I didn't expect her to do as well because of the campaigning. However, the counties that she did win, they were not surprising. They came out heavily for her.
And White has a problem. He's a yellow dog Democrat running in a blue wave year.
Good point there too, Bud. Ross, it didn't take long at all. Polls hadn't even closed before Ted Cruz kind of started fired the first salvo in the general election with the Twitter ad, and Cruz also called him Robert O'Rourke. How do you expect this race to unfold?
I think Robert and Raphael are going to have a blast for the next 8 months. This is going to be a very tough race, and I wasn't surprised to see him come out punching. I think this is going to be a great one to watch.
Tremendously entertaining.
You think
because
so?
One thing that Cruz did learn from that presidential election, you have to come out swinging. He's going to be negative, and it doesn't even matter what he says in terms of using the Robert, but it's going to be a fight, and Democrats had better step up.
Until he was 12, Cruz actually was known as Felito. So it's Felito Cruz against Robert O'Rourke, and let the elementary school name calling start.
Bernadine makes a good point. Democrats must step up because yes. Republicans, Cruz is going to come out swinging. Can O'Rourke sustain that, Bud?
Well, this is the wake-up call that now he has to actually run, and he has to endure the bombardment of ads from one of the best organizers, one of the best fundraisers the Republican Party has seen.
Right. Ross, let me ask you about Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick saying the age of the liberal Republican is over. Judging by what happened Tuesday night, is it?
He got a more Republican or a more arch-conservative Senate than he had before. Bob Hall, he protected, he kept him in. Craig Estes, he replaced with Pat Fallon. It gets a notch more conservative, and that's a notch in Patrick's direction. His problem is what it has always been, though. The Texas House isn't the Texas Senate, and he's got to get his bills through there, too.
A few more conservatives won in the House, but some of those seats may be taken by Democrats. I think John Zerwas probably looks like a more likely speaker, candidate now for the next speaker. But, it's not that the names changed in the House so much as the pressure changed. Some of those other House members who've been moderates, may be a little more conservative when they see that $500,000 from the Wilkes brothers or from Tim Dunn sitting on the other side.
And one of these days he's going to have to realize he needs to stop the civil war within the Republican Party. Because sooner or later they will need every Republican, because the demographics show that it might be harder, not statewide until later down the road, but they're going to have to come together, and they might. But he needs to stop the civil war.
Talk for many more episodes to come. Thank you guys very much. We appreciate it. Thank you for watching as well. ABC's This Week is straight ahead. We'll see you next Sunday. Hope you have a good week.